Yeah, it has a huge function. So if you live on flat land, you need a pond on your property because what it does is it actually creates fake elevation and it pulls water to a location that makes sense. So rather than being standing water all over your property in paddocks, you need to create fake elevation. So like ditches or berms or whatever you need to do to direct water to a lower location. So that's what the pond does. And our property drains off so fast. Good morning. What day is it? I don't know, September 12th or something like that. And it's a beautiful day, so I can't wait to get outside and do all the things. But before I go out, I'm trying to improve the audio quality on our videos, and this is an amazing mic. I'm super happy with it. It's the new DJI small form, and it takes incredible audio. The only thing is I bought the smaller package, and the fact of the matter is it does take a little bit of time to set up every time I've ever used it, which is so annoying. But when I'm riding and if I want to start and stop the camera, I totally can using this. And it's super, super simple. You just press this button, the top button, and the camera turns on to record, and it'll turn off if you repress that same button. However, right now I'm just having a bit of a hard time setting it up. Yeah, see, it's not linked yet, so it's just using my audio from the camera. Anyway, I'm gonna set that up and then I'll let you know what's going on today. Haha, success. All right, so what I was trying to do is link the microphone to the receiver, and on that smaller package, do yourself a favor and buy the bigger package if that's what you're looking for. Anyway, it is a bit of a process because sometimes it just does not want to hook up with the receiver. All right, so if I turn the camera off, now I turn the camera back on and I didn't even touch the camera. That's really cool. Alrighty, so I'm meeting somebody outside in a couple minutes to film some stuff for the property. What we want to do is we're going to put up a new perimeter fence, which is super exciting. But then we're also going to do some other fencing because when we sold our other house, it means we went down in paddock sizes because the other property had some paddocks on it. But now we have a couple new boarders coming in next month and we don't have enough paddocks. So we have to plan out where on the property we want to do this. So I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. So we want to make it like really look pretty, but we also need it to be incredibly functional and suit our business needs for where these paddocks and things go. Also for budgeting purposes, we're gonna probably set up, okay, so these are the paddocks we have to do, or the fence line we have to do, and then these are the ones that we would like to do. We also potentially next year might be getting kind of a bigger contract. We don't know for sure. We've kind of put our kind of bid in with Film Manitoba for housing horses that are going to be used on movies here in Winnipeg. And so anyway, if that happens, we're going to need paddocks ready and available for horses that would be in movies. And do we build those now? Do we build them in the future? Where are we going to build them? Also, when we have clinics, we want to have some day paddocks available for people who are not like our own students. And so we want to keep those horses slightly away from our current herd, not keep it exactly a closed herd situation, but don't exactly want those horses on top of our regular herd. So all of that is what we're going to be considering while we're making fences on our property. So that's a fun thing we're going to do today. And it's also a beautiful day, so I also want to go ride. Yeah, busy day. What I was doing this morning while I was waiting for it to warm up is I was actually doing some YouTube learning. And so this is my office. That's my computer and that's my TV. And what I can do is I can go ahead and watch. So I can watch YouTube videos and then they'll say, okay, go ahead and set up your channel. Whoops. Oh, puppy, you're not helping. I can set up my channel a certain way so I can implement what they say to do while I'm doing it. So I love my office so much. Here, I'll actually give you a little bird's eye view of my office, one sec. So this is my desk. And then computer, TV and printer. And if I look outside this door, this window, I have the curtains closed on purpose because it's really bright out. I can see Justin raking hay. Just always so busy around here. All right, I'm going to possibly get a hat and maybe put on, I don't know, another t-shirt and head outside and go start doing some fun property planning stuff. Well, I'm going to turn off the camera with this microphone. Okay, by the way, I also own a gimbal. This right here is a gimbal that auto tracks you and it supposedly follows you around on horses. So you don't need a cameraman, but I will give you a full review in a future video about this device, whether it's worth buying and if I use it or not. You can tell that it's not hooked up right now, so that might be a little bit of an indication. Okay, that's a future video that's upcoming. That's the sound of the printer. So I have kind of our property Google map, and kind of that color didn't work out, so I'm actually just going to print it in color. But yeah, Google Map is so handy to kind of just play with ideas. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with my own kind of ideas, and then Justin can for sure like do his side. And then what we're going to do is kind of meet and then figure out like what makes the most amount of sense. I know for sure what he wants is he wants a very picturesque view from our house to the barn. And I think that's just so important. And I really want to do that as well as like make those paddocks very functional. So there's two main objectives, is functional and pretty. And actually I was watching Matt Harnicke's video. He did a property tour with a breeder, and she had a very pretty property in that she said, like, try not to do straight lines, do curved lines, because it just makes it more homey. And I think that's 100% what we're gonna do as well. Like Justin watched the video and he really liked that idea as well. So you can see on our previous properties is like things are kind of square. That's very functional, but it's not very pretty. So yeah, we're gonna curve these lines for sure. We just have to figure out what makes the most amount of sense and where to put these paddocks. All right, off to the barn. I know I've said that a million times already, but I forgot I had to print these bad boys off. Okay, I thought I'd chit chat with you while I get my boots on. So I watched this documentary the other day with Justin, and it was incredible. So if you like watching stuff like that, there's one called Nobu, which is about this incredible man who sold quality, or he had a restaurant, Japanese style restaurant for selling sushi, but with a Peruvian influence. And he set up kind of his restaurant all sorts of different places before setting up in LA. And he got discovered by Robert De Niro for his level of quality. And he wanted to expand the business and make restaurants all over the world. And that's exactly what ended up happening. And it was all about, you know, how just quality makes the difference. And like what you, that's how he got discovered, was his incredible quality and attention to detail while making food. It tastes really great. So it's amazing where you can get inspiration from. But I took from that video of, you know what, I want to make one small change. And it's small, but it's kind of meaningful, is I want to try and start keeping my boots a little cleaner. Now, I live in Manitoba, and a lot of Manitoba has this special kind of soil that is very, very sticky. So if it rains, you get dirty. And given that I ride horse after horse, and, you know, anyway, it might not always be practical to clean my boots every time I get into the saddle, but maybe just once a day for sure, giving my boots a once over, especially like looking at them right now. They're a little dirty, but just presenting, you know, that quality of what we want this business to be, starting with small things like that, could be a meaningful difference. Anyway, I'm going to try and keep that up, but also be very practical about where I live and how many horses to do in a day. And, you know, like, it's just balancing. Life is all about balance. Anyway, oh, I'm sorry, girls. You got to stay here because you will not stay around. Oh, Justin's been busy. The hay has been raked. Also, check it out. We are in the process of setting up the hot tub. However, right now it kind of, you know what construction does. It makes everything look messy. But gotta start somewhere. Gotta crack some eggs to make that omelet. Alrighty. Oh, there's my friend. Friend George is gonna help me out today in playing with ideas for the property. We are just outside the front of the property, and this is really good that George is here, so I'm gonna kind of explain what we need to do and kind of what we want to do. So I know from personal experience, we've had some horses that are like a little bit harder to turn out sometimes. Like our stud was like, I want to make it so simple for our staff turning out that type of horse that they're not thinking, oh, this horse is going to get loose. So some sort of containment. So whether that paddock is like kind of right here closest to the barn, so it's a really short distance, or whether we put up like kind of ropes directly to that paddock so that if the horse does get loose, it's not the biggest deal in the world. So that's like practicality number one. Practicality number two is we have 3 ponies that are going to live outside. And we have very large, beautiful wooden pastures, but they're like $25,000 a piece. And no way should the pony live in like this big, huge space and put horses in a smaller space. So we want to put ponies in an appropriate size space for the ponies, that like they have a shelter and stuff, but we're not utilizing this monster asset for a pony that's this big. Yeah. Nothing against the pony, but we want the horses to have like a ton of room, and a ton of room for a pony is different than a ton of room for a horse. What else?
Are you thinking about accessibility for your young riders to get to the
100%.
ponies?
And that is one of the biggest reasons why we moved from that house across the street to this house over here, because we didn't want any of the horses crossing the street anymore. That that gave me so much anxiety, I can't even tell you. Especially like our kids would walk horses across the street, and in the winter it gets dark here at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So like having a kid walk a horse across the street when it's dark, or a client, that was, and it's icy. Yeah, it was icy. So now everybody's on one property and it's so much better. So yeah, that is definitely another thing, is like kids walking to and from paddocks. We want those to be closer to the barn. He makes that sound a lot. And yeah, I was kind of thinking about, here, I'll show you actually. So you see where these cute little ponies are right now? The tiny ponies. Possibly keeping that paddock and making it like putting a shelter in that paddock, so then that's where the 3 ponies live, because it is hi Sparks, it is I don't know, close to the barn, close to the arena. However, the only thing about that I don't really love is at night they would be kind of at the front of the property by themselves. Whereas I really like to group outdoor horses together, because if there's like coyotes or anything like that, I don't want the ponies off by themselves at night.
That makes sense.
I would think a better thing to do would be to have their paddocks as close to the bigger horses as possible for that protection. So that's probably not where the ponies are going to live in the winter, out at night. I don't like that idea. The other thing is, like, this paddock right here is close to the road. So again, I like our outside horses at the back of our property, or just like all together, grouped together, so there's that like security. Yeah, so here is our property plan. So here, can I give you all this? Thank you so much. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like. See that big long straight line? Flip it over. So this is our house. So this is Google Maps of the property pre-house. So that's why it looks like,
oh, okay.
You're like, why does that not look like your house? It's just a drawing. And then this right here, we're considering before having a road to our house from this side of the property, because this is the barn. So this is that barn right there. And really just having like a straight road. So we have an entrance here, and now there's this entrance to our house right here, driveway. So if we connected the 2 driveways, so when people drop off horses, like International Horse Transport or something like that, they wouldn't have to turn around. They could just go in one driveway and out the other.
Excellent.
Yeah.
For?
Well, I mean, the road itself is not, it doesn't have to be done immediately. However, if we did want to, just maybe don't talk to the pony. Maybe, how about that? That's a little pony who's 1/3 your size. It's so funny. So that driveway isn't necessary, but if we wanted to, how I talked about the film Manitoba, maybe if we had like a place to park trailers for them, maybe that would make our property even more attractive in the future. Yeah.
So you want to keep that in mind while you're planning out your paddocks.
And we want everything to look pretty. So we watched that YouTube video about that breeder. Did I send that to you? Where everything had beautiful curved lines. So we might just make this a big U.
Love it.
Yeah, and then have a paddock within that U. And the other thing is, when we have clinics, I feel like if we put the horses that aren't really part of our herd out here, it's safer, biosecurity. It's safer for the horses on our property, because this is a big distance. It doesn't look by the way, this right here, this is 1,000 feet. It's actually quite long. Yeah, so these horses would be quite a bit away from our current herd. So that's something to consider. And yeah. The other thing is if okay, so film.
Oh, this is the water?
Oh yeah, that's our pond. That's why it's blue.
Okay.
That
So it's
is
drainage.
yeah, this is potential drainage to this pond.
All right.
It doesn't look like this in real life. Actually, I'll show you.
I can see the drainage already.
Yeah. Here we go. Where's that pond? Next to George's car. That's the pond over there. All right. So, where to position this camera so you can see everything? Anyway, yeah, all the things to consider. So biosecurity for the current herd, because we do want to have those clinics, like that is for sure going to happen. We don't know if the Film Manitoba thing is going to happen for sure, but the clinics, we are 100% starting that next year, having clinics on our property.
That's exciting.
Well, and then I don't know if you know this, but like we put like a hose right here. So when they were digging the well or like digging the trench to get water to our house, they put a hose right here. So that's the other thing. If we put the paddocks up here, it'd have to be a really long hose. Whereas if we put the paddocks in here, the hose to the water is right there. So that is something to consider. And then also this right here actually is quite a large area. So we could have multiple paddocks right here on the way to the sand ring.
I could see a row of evergreens here, a parking area here for trailers, and then having the paddocks like where the water is then.
The drainage?
Like, because you got water here. So you got water here, right?
Well, this is drainage, so that's.
But you also have don't you have a hose there too, or no?
No, these are all automatic waters. This is what is it? Well connection point is right here. So
if you continue across, are you gonna put?
We could, but that adds to expenses. Yeah. And so basically, it's one of those. Well, do you like transport water, or do you put water underground, like dig a well? It's probably not all that expensive. We're talking probably $5,000 to $6,000 to hook up water to these.
Is it easier to hook up water here than it is out there?
I don't know. I think it's probably about the same. Okay. Yeah, because it has probably the amount of trenching they have to do. So right now, this is all free. There's nothing there at all. So trenching is easy. It's when you have to like trench around things that are already there. Yeah. It adds to the length of trenching you have to do. But there's nothing there right now, so that would be easy. Or you just kind of transport water to those, like you can have like temporary water. If this is just going to be a summer thing, you don't have to trench it underground.
Right. That's what we're thinking about.
Yeah, if it's going to be a winter thing, you would want to trench it underground, the water.
For the ponies, you need to trench.
Yeah.
You need to pick one of these spots for the pony. You don't want to pick one of those.
Yeah, or have it right next to that well. Mm-hmm. So for the pony, and then
right here.
Yeah, and like right here is actually perfect for the ponies because it's close to those guys.
From your square house.
From my square. I did this in paint. Yeah. And it looks like it. Is it? Well, anyway, that's our property planning dilemmas and what we have to think about. What we're going to do for sure is have this perimeter fence. That's the number one thing that we have to do this fall. The paddocks themselves.
Perimeter fence? Is that what that is?
No, that's just
that's just something.
That's just my printer. My printer isn't very good. So anyway, the perimeter fence is going to go like that, down like that, up to here, and then that way. And then we're going to fence around next to, or kind of around that outdoor sand ring, so that if you fall off your horse, they don't run to Timbuktu. So that's what has to get done. The other thing that has to get done is we have to build a small paddock for one of the horses that's coming next month. So we're probably in the end looking at 15,000 by the time, yeah, on the cheap side even. Like, because if you space the posts 16 feet across, it gives you the option to like add an extra post for wood later. We wouldn't do wood right now, that would make it way too expensive. But maybe in the future, if you do, like, you want to consider, okay, what if I convert this to wood in the future? So having those posts at the distance across for how long they sell pieces of wood for is important.
Is that a aesthetic choice?
Aesthetic,
to
yeah.
Move on to wood?
Yeah,
or,
just
okay.
make it look pretty.
There's no other.
No, you can get like kind of like PVC, or we can even just do rope, the electric rope wire, because that is effective. Oh, and then the other thing that has to get done is our dogs are driving us absolutely bonkers.
We need a dog run.
We need a dog run.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Because right now we have to take them out, which is pretty great. Like, we have to take them out multiple times a day, but they used to spend so much more time outside because they would just like play by themselves and have the best time. But right now they're only going out when we take them, and they're bonkers. Like, they need they need more freedom. Alrighty. Well, that's, you know what I'll do then is I'm going to play around with some designs, and then I'll like update what designs. But thank you for helping me think that out.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, I think
it's very exciting though.
We want to be practical. So leading that horse out, very important, like that difficult to lead out horse. We do need at least one more paddock on the very least for that one particular horse that's coming. And actually maybe a good spot to put that one paddock, I'll flip this camera, is actually right here, because it's just a daytime paddock. So if we kind of connected right there, so they could have Sparky and Cookie as friends, and they were right here, and then they could also see this paddock right here. Or an either cheaper idea is these two. This is kind of like our old timer pen. And like split it, add one more paddock in between, and then a gate, or sorry, one more fence in between. So then this becomes 3. And then also that stall that Daisy's in, that is actually, we don't actually own that, so we're going to return it sometime soon. So we actually do need an outdoor stall for when horses need like alone time, or on chestnut mare, or for when horses need stall rest, because stall rest is so much easier for when they can see their friends and they're close to their friends and get some vitamin D from the sun. But all right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I will come up with a couple designs, and then I'll post them here so you can see my ideas, and then Justin can show me what his ideas are. And then we can merge. Oh yeah, Justin. And then we'll merge them together of like what we like the best. As long as it's like functional and beautiful, we're good to go.
That's all.
Yeah, just that's all.
For the ducks to come and visit, or does it have some sort of function?
Yeah, it has a huge function. So if you live on flat land, you need a pond on your property, because what it does is it actually creates fake elevation, and it pulls water to a location that makes sense. So rather than being standing water all over your property in paddocks, you need to create fake elevation. So like ditches or berms or whatever you need to do to direct water to a lower location. So that's what the pond does, and our property drains off so fast. A couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, we expanded this pond, and it's ginormous now, and it is such a picturesque, beautiful place for ducks, and actually you can see a little bird right there, and there's so many turtles in this pond. I just love it so much.
Oh, awesome. But
it actually has an insane, really, did you hit a frog? There's a frog. It actually has a purpose. So if you have livestock at all, you definitely 100% want to build a pond if you live on flat land and then direct all your water away from your horses or cattle.
That's awesome. Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's really come along.